Hello, this is Jess, chat session number 46, December 16th, 2017. Okay, and we're going to go right into tidbits of history, but we're going to do a little something different, and I'll explain why. By the way, it's good to see you. If you're watching this and following along, good to see you. But today, December 16th, this day, 1964, Jess Malone was born in Corpus Christi at Spawn Hospital. That would be me. So that's the history that we're going to sort of focus on this particular chat session, which will be chat session number 46. I'd like to thank my parents. They did an outstanding job making sure that we had all the opportunities growing up to pursue things and to have the available resources to do things. We were fortunate that my parents worked hard to make sure that the 5 kids, I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and things, we're all still going. I'm the youngest of the 5, and just still going. Some things and highlights of my life was, of course, meeting Anita, getting married, raising 3 kids, Erica, Alex, and Scott. And now we also, in the group, have 2 grandkids, Roxy, which is Erica's daughter, and Aiden, which is Alex's son. Alexandria, that's her name. I'm not a world traveler, but I've lived on the other side of the world. I lived in Japan for a good 3.5-year span, 3-year span in the 80s, and I was fortunate. It was a good time for me. I was at the right age to really envelop myself into that culture, that Japanese culture, because it was foreign to me. I was born in Texas, so. But I had a good time there. Learned a lot about other countries of the world, from the perspective of news and events, and then coming back here and seeing those news and events, and a lot of stuff's missing. But I guess it's just, I see they do a thing like on Time magazine. They're like, these are all the covers that were in Europe, and these are all the covers that were here for America. I just wonder if how that works, why they do that. They want us to see different things from maybe more open in some of their news. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. Just side topic. Like I said, I'm not a world traveler, but I have been to China, and like I said, I lived in Japan 3 years plus time. So now in my own country here in the United States, I've traveled to most the far north, the Atlantic seaboard and up Maine and all that up there, Rhode Island and Connecticut and New Jersey and New York and Pennsylvania, all those states up there, Wisconsin, that whole area up there. I've never been to Canada. Now, another country I could put down is I've been to Mexico quite a few times, but not far in. Just, I didn't go even to the checkpoint, the second checkpoint with passport. It was back when you didn't have to have one. Go across the border and prove you're a citizen, come back. But I did go to Matamoros and those areas down there by Brownsville quite a few times. And so maybe I'm not like I said, a seasoned traveler. It's been a long time since I've traveled out of the country. It's been a very long time. But hopefully sometime soon. Be nice to see Europe. I'd like to do that. Maybe. We'll see as time goes on what happens. But as far as in the United States, I've spent time in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Colorado, Tennessee, Washington, D.C., Virginia, probably North Virginia too, or Arkansas, Wyoming, Iowa, Colorado, Montana, Nevada. I've landed in Anchorage in my flights overseas when I went to Japan. And I've been to Hawaii as well. But I've landed in Washington State. I never got out the plane in Seattle, landed there. They were fueling, and also the same thing when I was in Anchorage, refueling for a flight across to the other side of the world. But I guess that's not. I honestly don't know if I've ever been to Idaho. Maybe I have. One of those states that maybe drove through it. I'm not 100% sure. Kansas. I'm not sure if I've driven through there. We might have. Nebraska, I'm pretty sure I've driven through there. But North Dakota, South Dakota, no, I don't think I've ever been that far up north on that area. And so I guess one of the main states in the whole southern part of the United States, from California across, I've been to Oklahoma. I didn't say them, but I have never been to Florida. On the southern tip, so I was 7 miles from the border one time on a trip going through there and we cut off and went to Georgia. So I never drove through Florida. That's weird, but maybe one day I'll get to do that. And so on that respect, I say I've been fortunate to be able to travel and see all those places and to experience different areas of the country I live in. I lived in Tennessee for 2+ years. Most of those other ones I just visited friends and stuff, driving around doing different things. I've walked the back country in Mississippi late at night a couple of times, out in the middle of nowhere. Probably during the day or whatever, what it was, I probably pushed over 100 miles by walking. And I got rides I thumbed, different things, but there was one time when I didn't get picked up for a long time, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I kept on, and man, I came across this area and there's these signs saying, this is where a lot of bears are. And this is Mississippi. I didn't even realize they had bears in Mississippi. And I'm walking and I'm thinking, man, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Here I am on this crossroads of this freeway and no traffic and sign that says, this is bear area. I was just like, great, but I just went on, one of those things, and I got a ride eventually. But it was about 7 o'clock in the morning when I got a ride. I walked a long way. But it's just the way things are sometimes. So I maybe have a little bit of adventure in me. Once, I decide if I can't get there by anywhere except by walking, I'll just walk. I've done that a few times, up and down I-35 in Texas. Just different places. But here I am. I made it. On this day, 1964, I was born. And so it's almost midnight. I've got to get this uploaded. So this is chat session number 46. A little bit different, more personal stuff about me maybe. But anyway, here we are. Be truthful, be happy, and let's look out for each other, okay? And I don't know if I said it or not, but when this, this one event was probably the most important event in my life, right? I was born. So yeah, the biggest event for me in history was in 1964 on this date. All right, have a good evening.